Baki Hanma versus Toji Fushiguro. These two are essentially the physical prodigies of their own respective verse, with Baki managing to overcome the strongest forces of his verse, while Toji rose to power in a world full of sorcery with nothing but his bare hand. And in this crossverse scenario, we'll say Toji will be hunting down a Baki who just apparently defeated his father and is now proclaimed to be the strongest in the world. Basically meaning this will take place after the father-son quarrel event in Son of Ogre / the anime of Baki. And this Toji will be the same one from the hidden inventory event, so he has access to all of his gear and is in his prime. He's not going to be in that weird Edo state he was in Shibuya. With that aside, let me explain why this debate is low-key a mismatch, and not for the reasons you might think. We'll talk about Toji first, as he's way easier to break down than Baki. Now, Toji scaling, unlike most JJK characters, is a little more annoying to scale due to him not having cursed energy. Meaning, like the usual feats that are used like Jogo and Dagons domains generating enough energy to destroy mountains, can't be used to say that Toji is also mountain level, even though Toji would probably beat these two in a fight. I mean, he killed Dagon by himself already, but due to him not having cursed energy or anything to really construct stuff like that, along with domains in general being hacks based abilities that buff the specific user, I'd be playing heavy mental gymnastics if I said Toji could just survive an iron coffin mountain by flexing. So instead, we're going to go a different route for scaling. We know even fodder beings like the finger bearers could generate enough cursed energy to light up the cave him and Megami were fighting in, which come in at around town level, which is consistent since even weaker characters like Mechamaru are firing off blasts capable of leveling city blocks. So although these are lower levels for Toji, he should be at least multiple times stronger than a finger bearer who was able to generate enough energy to destroy a town. And we know that it's a many times multiplier, as Toji is relative to Maki by the end of the calling games when she's fully realized, and this Maki is able to scrap with 15 finger Sukuna, and a finger bearer is performing a town level feat, then obviously even with the lowest of low balls, Toji is scaling above this many times over. Meaning Toji's AP being in that town to city level range isn't really far-fetched. But I can't just straight up say that, oh, he beats up special grades, so he's country level or something. That's just not how Toji scaling works, unfortunately, due to him not having access to the main power system of the verse that everybody uses to generally scale the verse. Now, thankfully, when it comes to speed, Toji is way easier to pinpoint since he not only in a weakened state perception blitz into his electricity, but both Maki and Akari have been able to semi-react to lightning, with the Akari feat getting Toji's combat and reaction speeds at the lowest end over Mach 546. Giving Toji the benefit of the doubt, you could say he's just straight up a lightning timer, but I don't think he's quite there yet. But even with downplay, he should be hitting those double-digit mocks pretty casual. For his kit, he usually has his soul-splitting katana that, well, splits your soul. His weird little freak alien thing, along with his chain, and that blade that can bypass infinity, but that doesn't really matter since Baki doesn't have any sorcery. And speaking of, we can now talk about the Son of Ogre. Baki Hanma by the time of Son of Ogre would be capable of drawing blood and at least putting up a decent fight against Yujiro. He does get stronger after this, and he technically was superior in this fight anyway, but we do know that Yujiro gets significantly stronger every day, meaning Baki even contending with his Yujiro would be above the other versions of him. And Yujiro before his fight with Baki not only was considered to be the strongest being even at the start of the original series, we have things like Yujiro in the past quite literally stopping an earthquake with his punches, which generate enough force to destroy a town, and even things like the US military saying that they wouldn't be able to stop Yujiro if he went rampant, which would include literal nuclear bombs. And if you wanted to use more recent feats, well, you could just upscale Baki from Pickle, who literally survived the dinosaur wiping meteor with no damage, or Oliva shaking the literal world with his strikes, which both feats range from the city to even mountain levels of attack potency. These feats as well, Baki should just upscale from directly, as he not only beats these two, but then grows way more powerful after this and manages to defeat the strongest version of Yujiro by that point in the series. As I said, Yujiro gets stronger as the series goes on, so he would even upscale from the previous version of himself that humbled both Pickle and Oliva. Speed in Baki is pretty easy to pinpoint, as not only do characters like Kaku and Katsumi can reach high hypersonic speeds with their blows and physical movements, but even Yujiro can dodge point-blank gunfire and instinctively react to lightning if it were to drop on him hypothetically. Mind you, this is off of pure instincts and not even mentioning the amount of skill that Yujiro could apply to make him react and combat at way higher speeds that he should be able to normally. Baki as well, even as a kid, was able to imitate the same move Katsumi and Kaku are using to reach these speeds. But to be fair, that was back then when he was only limited to being at the speed of sound. But Baki can more than likely replicate this or just reach these speeds by himself anyway, as Katsumi, while doing this, still couldn't beat Pickle, and Pickle was still able to react to him and get the jump on him. and we see Baki obviously scaling to Piccolo in terms of speed. So Baki, in my opinion, should be able to easily reach those high hypersonic to potentially massively hypersonic level speeds, which leads me into the hack portion for Baki, or basically his skill. Not only can Baki do the same thing and essentially perceive things as slow if he can see them like Yujiro, but he has multiple styles built on anticipating and just knowing what you're going to do next. Just to get a baseline idea of where Baki's martial arts level is at, we have characters like Motobe, even in the first series of Baki, mastering every martial art around the world and making it into one style, along with using the experience he used against Yujiro, the greatest fighter in the world, to try and beat Yujiro. Yujiro then just bullies Motobe as he improves his style every single day, but then we see Doppo actually press A later on Yujiro to use Demon back. This same Doppo hundreds of chapters later would then find a way to take his mastery of martial arts already to a whole other level, finally closing this seemingly infinite gap he's been trying to reach but just infinitely was just getting further distant from. He would close this gap just to lose to Shibukawa's toe. Shibukawa being the same guy who loses to a weaker Jack than the one that Baki manages to defeat by combining every style he's learned up to by this point. Before this as well, he's legit come back from death through sheer willpower and has a form of ultra instinct. This isn't even mentioning the two other series that Baki goes through where he becomes even more powerful than ever. He would learn things like Benda, where he can harm you regardless of your durability by slapping your skin, the animalistic styles that allow him to take his martial arts to another level to defeat Pickle, and pretty much is able to accumulate all of his past mentor styles. This would include things like Shibukawa style that defies literal physics and no matter what reflects your own power back at you. We have Retsu's 4,000 years worth of Chinese Kempo, Doppo and Katumi's traditional and modern take on karate. Unironically would infinitely close Motobe in terms of skill, and I'm not even mentioning the specific techniques that all of these guys have, like for example Toppo's perfect defense, Retsu and Katumi's ways to just break your opponent's nose. I could go on for hours, but I think I've given you guys an idea where Baki is as a martial artist, so let's talk about what would happen if the Son of Ogre was met with the sorcerer killing anomaly, Toji. The fight would begin with Baki casually walking down a street like it's another day after school, before then seeing a man lock eyes with him 20 feet away. He would appear to be a normal looking dude with a decent physique, but Baki can feel the pure bloodlust that man is emitting with just his cold stare. And what's crazy is that it looks like Toji's just been locking eyes with him for a while, but Baki didn't even notice him until he looked up. Baki would squint his eyes to see something weird wrapped around Toji, before then seeing a creature take out a blade that Toji takes. The moment Toji's hand grabs the weapon, he blitzes towards Baki's way, but luckily Baki already saw this coming and easily evades the blow, following up with a solid kick to his head. However, as Baki lands the blow, the assassin would immediately look up, showing that he isn't the average opponent and won't go down with such a measly attack. And with that, the fight would truly begin. That's my little cool chicken nugget scenario. That's pretty cool, right? Like how I did in the Sakamoto video. But anyway, with that scenario in your guys' head, let me explain exactly what would happen if these two were to fight. In my opinion, Baki and Toji should honestly have comparable AP, as they both massively upscale from the town level feats I presented. Only difference here is that Baki was reaching these feats before his peak and unironically was reaching those Toji levels of AP at the age of 15. And the thing is that Toji may not even be city level. Like, granted, he is many times above the finger bearers, but we have things like Jogos, Meteor, and Sukuna's Fuga breaching these tiers of power, and I don't think Toji is taking either of these attacks. But if you say they're relative, this wouldn't even matter, as Baki would just utilize the dozens of styles he's learned over the series that allows him to either rip Toji's vital cords to remove his senses, Doppo style of karate that allows him to break bones easier, Shibukawa's reflections, which is just Garo style on crack, and pretty much any martial art that is on the planet and then some. You guys could also probably notice when I went over the stats that there is a pretty clear speed gap. Toji at best is reaching the speeds that Baki is able to reach instinctively, and as well Baki specifically, because he's fast as a martial artist, even if him and Toji were relative in speed, Toji would just never hit him. The reason why I say this is because Yujiro explains that in Baki, a character can be fast, but if they are slow in a martial arts sense, it doesn't really matter. They're pretty much moving like a snail regardless. With Baki's mastery upon layers of mastery of martial arts in comparison to Toji's like maybe basic mastery of close quarters or hand-to-hand combat, it's really not close, and we do get specific techniques that Baki can use on Toji, meaning he has like more ways than one to just rip him apart. Unless Toji can actually blitz Baki, he's actually never going to be landing a hit on him, and everything that he's going to throw will be sent back at him. At best, Baki gets a little stupid and gets hit with the Soul Katana and GG, but I really do not see that happening. 8 to 9 times out of 10, Baki is taking this matchup, and yeah, the Sorcerer Hunter is getting crumpled.